going to be connecting with the artist that we have in studio. Yeah, man, there's a piece of art out there of the Great Drive. Bro, the whole crew's super excited. This is the first time we've had an artist come in with a blank canvas and in less than 45 minutes come out with, would you call it a drawing? You call it a drawing?
Painting, artwork.
Painting, artwork.
I call it a masterpiece, but hey, that's just me.
Yeah, let's call it that.
45 minutes in studio and you created a masterpiece. Talk to us about the type of art that you do and who are you, Brent?
So, look, let's put it this way. I used to have a job in corporate. I was in finance and insurance. And, you know, we're talking about male mental health, and it takes a lot to out of you to be doing jobs that you don't really get your full fulfillment. And it took me a long time. It took me 20 years to get into art and to find a career in art. And but I learned a lot along the way, and I've now managed to build a nice art business as a professional artist. And I create artwork generally inspired by the built environment. So it's sort of architecturally inspired, but not just that, it's the people that live within the built environment. So it's very much actually, even though it's told through architectural expression mostly, the stories are very much, and the narratives that are built within the paintings are very much about the people. So in the same way as I painted the studio here, it's you and your team that actually make it come alive.
Wow. Wow.
That's beautiful.
So a corporate guy decides, you know what, I'm dropping it all. I'm going to start painting. Tell us about your journey. And for any artist out there that's tuned in, who's also considering, look, man, I love expressing myself. I want to potentially be a painter. What happened for you to say, I'm dropping this job, I'm going to start this, and how's that been going?
So I think one of the big mistakes that people make, or why artists struggle so much, is because they've got talent, they're good and they're great artists, but they don't know business. And I think what I would say to most people that are looking to have a career in art is find a career in business first. Find a mentor inside business, because when you learn business, then you can take a great product to market. Whereas most artists have a great product and it builds up in their studio, and they've got no way of raising capital or taking it to market or knowing how to market themselves or having the confidence to price it correctly, how to attract attention in the market and those sorts of things. So while most people would say, you know, resign, tell your boss you're out of here and kick the door in and slam it on your way out, I'd say actually go and find a business mentor, go work until you're confident, and then, you know, it's the type of thing, it's a perfect side hustle. You can be painting at night, you can be, you know, when I started my art career, I wake up at 4, I paint till 7, go to work at 8, get home from gym at like 6, chill for an hour, and then paint until I go to bed. Oh, wow. Like that's how I got into it, and that's how I found the time. And then I built up, you know, we've got social media, we've got direct access to market these days as creatives, and we've got an environment where your corporates actually don't mind, especially, you know, you're not doing a side hustle that's going to bring, absolutely. So you've got a perfect way to get into the market and actually find yourself in a position that when you leave, you're not actually just taking this massive blind leap. You're arriving and you're transitioning into a full-time career from another one rather than taking this massive chance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And now let's talk about coming into studio. What went through your mind as you walked into studio and you said, okay, cool, I need to put pen to paper and I'm going to make this painting happen? What's the process in your head?
So the first thing always is, you know, I started speaking to all of you guys. and I wanted to get just a sense of who you were.
You spoke to Morgan. Oh no! Listen, we don't take him out to public a lot.
Oh, okay.
You just sort of keep him there, give him a couple of snacks, and he's fine.
Oh, okay.
Why I'm the center of the piece. The radio is me in the corner over here.
Next time I'll bring snacks.
We'll go through the process.
No, so I like to speak to the people and understand who it is, who commands the space, who lives in the space, what are they doing. So it was, the first 10 minutes I didn't actually do anything. I just sat there and I kind of absorbed it because I could paint this studio in 100 different ways. I got a real sense of energy. There was a lot of fun, lots of laughing on and off air. There was a nice sort of tight team. So that's when I started to build the composition. Was like I wanted all of you nice and close to each other, and I wanted the studio to be nice and loose. I let the paint run nicely with lots of water to really just show the energy of the room, as opposed to a lot of artists will try and replicate, and I can do that on my iPhone. Done. Photo. And I think it's about expression, and it's about actually trying to translate something into an artwork rather than just take a skill. Like that's the underlying, and I think it's what my art has that has attracted attention, is that it's got a subtle narrative to it that you can kind of latch onto and dig into as a viewer. I
got a question on our WhatsApp line for Brentfield. Can you explain the importance of capturing the story through the artwork, and what subties you add to capture the story? That's art talk for you.
So I think it's actually all it is. That's what art actually comes down to. It is the story, because it's kind of what separates photography from art. Photography is, while there can be nice narratives and things like that, it's still only an expression of what was there. So photography captures what was done, and it could capture a narrative. What art allows us to do is add an additional narrative by warping or distorting or adding colors or juxtaposing different things onto a piece. We have absolute control, and we can lose control as much as we want as artists, and that's the gift of art. So to not use that to drive your narratives, and to create a piece of art that somebody stands in front of, and then they kind of unwind it in their mind as they keep looking. That's what it's all about. So that's what you concentrate on. Concentrate on the narrative, and the rest kind of, the painting paints itself beyond that.
Amazing, man. Got another one here saying, "Hi Casey, please ask Brett, how can I get my 10-year-old son the masterclass industry? My son is diagnosed with ASD at the age of 4 years old, but he's great with drawing anything that he sets his mind on."
So I think, if he's already got a propensity to it, just give him everything, take away as many barriers as possible that allows him to just really express art, and get as much access to an audience as you can. Even as a young artist, parents can help by embracing social media and those sorts of things. There's plenty of ways to keep it safe and to do it on behalf of young children. Absolutely. But get them the audience, get people to see the art, get people to buy into it and understand it, and start to get a following, because that just makes it so much easier when you want to commercialize it and become professional. Absolutely. But at this point, when you're 10 years old, just do everything. And I think also when it comes to art, my art teacher at school, she was like, look, we must try loads of different things. And she came over and she looked at me doing a painting one day, and she literally said, no, back to pencils for you. You can't paint. And at the time she was actually right, because it was for matric. But, if you're 10 years old, let him do everything.
Yeah.
And if he gets bored of one thing and he's really good at it, that's also fine.
Right.
Let him drop it for a while and then come back to it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Brett, I've got one question for you. You spoke earlier about valuing your art, adding a value to it. Now, as a person off the street, I walk past this painting sometimes and I see like 100,000 or 200 or a million, whatever it may be. And I always think, cheap, so how do you even get to that price? And then I asked you a little bit earlier about your prices. You don't have to talk about those on air. But the question is, how does one get to a price of a piece of artwork?
So pricing's like branding. And in the same way as if we take a quality artisanal piece of, say, a handbag made in Italy, but has no brand behind it, and then we take a Louis Vuitton, they can be identical. Even some of the fakes, if we look at them, they are near identical. However, one is worth nothing and one has a lot of intrinsic value. And art works very much the same way. You as an artist need to build up your value in the market and then attach it to your paintings. And one of the best ways to do that is to work with other professionals in the industry. So whether it's you going down the fine art gallery route, or you get into the decor and design where you're working with interior designers and that, where you get access to market through there. And then it comes down to confidence.
There we go.
And that's where almost every artist gets it wrong. There's a lot of, we look at our own work and we start to undervalue it in our minds and we pick it apart. And it's really to get rid of all of that and look at it and be confident and to put it out there to the world and not immediately a week later start discounting it. And that's why knowing business, circling back, when you understand business and you run your art career as a business, that's when it changes.
For those tuned in, but where can they find you online? Please share your handles, bro.
I'm on all the different channels. My website's brettfield.com. Artist Brett Field on Instagram, and then I've recently set up a YouTube channel. I'm trying to inspire young and old to enter the market and to have some fun. We do all sorts of cool stuff on the channel, and that's Sketchy Brett.
Sketchy Brett.
Yeah.
Oh, good, man. Man, thank you so much for the piece you've made for us today.
It's my pleasure. I've had so much fun spending the last sort of hour and a bit with you guys.
Yeah. We're a crazy crew, I know. We're not normal.
Oh yeah, I don't like normal either, so don't worry. I feel like I fit in.
Check him out online. It's Brett Field, and we're going to make sure that you get to see the amazing, amazing piece of art that he did with us right here on the Great Drive. We'll be back. Thank you so much, bro.
Nice.
Thanks, everyone. That was really cool.
Yeah.